found The Naked Truth. Lively discussions about business, marketing, and personal development for small business owners. No hype, just help.
Welcome to Tuesday, even though it feels like Thursday to me. Does it feel like Thursday to you, Mr. Ramsey?
It doesn't feel like Thursday, but I did forget that it was Tuesday at one point.
I feel like it's already the end of the week and I still have so much to do.
No, I'm in the early end. It almost feels like Monday to me. It's almost like Monday didn't even
For you?
happen, and I know there's still a lot to do this week. And yeah,
There
I don't
is.
know.
And maybe it feels like Thursday because we got such great engagement yesterday. We had so many
No, that was a
engagement.
cool episode, wasn't it?
Right?
That was really cool.
Fantastic. And all you people already on the wheel. So comment, engage, hop on in today because we're talking about analytics. We promised we're going to share that with you, and so we're following on our promise. Do you remember? I don't remember. I don't think I have any screenshots of what we were at last time. Do you remember?
I don't remember, but maybe as we look at the newer stuff, it'll jog our memory.
All right, so let's get started. So we're looking at our analytics, and the reason why we're looking at our analytics is because we shared with you last month that when we started brand new website, brand new audience, brand new everything. And we connected Google Analytics to our website to kind of see how we're doing and how do we fare and where people are coming from and what are they doing and all that jazz. So looking at our analytics, we have a lot of time, people spending a lot of time on our site.
That's nice.
That's nice, right? We're going up, so more time
Our
spent
bounce
on
rate
site.
isn't so great though.
A bounce rate is big. And so if we're looking at where people are hanging out, most of them are coming out to our homepage.
Yep.
And then they're kind of like following us on basically on everything we're doing daily, right? So this is for yesterday. Most of you were there. We had a great show. We love that you're coming to the Ask page, comment, and actually leave us questions that we can actually engage with you with. So that's fantastic. But it looks like people are joining us daily.
Which I think is great. I think that means that if people are taking the time to be with us day after day after day in like present time, that's pretty cool.
That is really cool. Hi, Red Nexy from Twitch. Welcome. So that's cool, and it also shows that we're kind of like going up, right, in how many people are visiting us. We had a drop here. I know what the drop was. The drop was when we didn't do it, when we pushed it to the afternoon, I believe. That's where it happened, maybe. June 22nd? No, maybe not. Maybe it's a Sunday.
No,
We don't
because
do it
those
on
are
the weekend.
that's the most recent dates.
So that's the weekend.
That's just the weekend.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's the weekend.
It's just dropped down because it was the weekend.
Yeah.
So as it
not a big
pushes
deal.
on, the shape of that graph will change because now we're back at it again.
Yeah.
That'll
And
be
this is also
okay.
interesting. Like most of you are watching us on a desktop, which is fantastic because that's the easiest way to engage with us. You can come home right here and not watch us on our website, but you can click here and join our Zoom conversation. Just by clicking here, you'll be part of our conversation and we can talk all about analytics.
So I did some research. Because again, both of us have admitted that we're not even close to Google Analytics experts, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm like, I want to know what the stuff is that really is going to help. So I was doing some research, and one of the things that came up consistently is that you really want to pay attention to where your traffic is being sourced from.
Yep.
So if you go back to that page and click on acquisition and then overview, and it'll give you the overview of like how we're sourcing traffic.
And this is
And
super
so right
cool,
off-
right? Because this is kind of like what we're saying, don't build your home on rented properties. So we're leveraging
Right.
all social media to send direct traffic, to send the social traffic, which is what social media is basically now building our analytics. So instead of us building Zuckerberg or YouTube or LinkedIn, right? We're using them to drive traffic to our own website. So that's fantastic.
Right.
And we can click on this, right? And actually dive down. Yep, Facebook and YouTube. So all of you people watching us on Facebook right now, hop on into our website right here, BeTheNakedTruth.com. You can help us change these analytics that shows where the traffic is coming from, which is really, really interesting, right? And I think actually when you go to home, it usually says right here on the side, yep. So 80% of your traffic is from referral channels. So this one actually means that most people who are coming to us, they find us on social media and then they come to our website.
Right.
Right? And then average duration. So this is really cool. If you guys want to see insights on your analytics, this is the place. You can see website performance week over week. We can see how many users we have. So we're actually growing. This is pretty cool. You see that one?
Mm-hmm.
And you can click here and you can go to the reports. So that shows us like the user coming up, we get more new users than returning users. That means that's something that you liked, didn't you? Getting more new users than returning users.
Yeah, I mean, of course we want both, right? But I think if you're like us, if you're a small business person like us, where we've only been doing this for a few months, like you know that you can't even begin to scale on return users at this point. You've got to constantly really be obsessed really with how you drive more new traffic to the site when you're starting out. So I would say really for us, for at least the whole first year, we have to primarily, of course, we want our audience to like us, and we want you to find value in the show so that you want to keep coming back. But like we've got to grow. So it's how do we get more new people to come to the site? Where do they come from? It's that kind of
Right.
stuff.
Right. Yep.
So here's the other thing.
Yeah, but the balance of both is nice, right? So if you're watching us and you're like, keep watching us, we actually had a really, really good comment from Debbie with a Y on LinkedIn yesterday that I actually would love to share with you. And the reason why I'm sharing this with you is because when you're building your own platform and your own show and you're starting to build your audience, this is this kind of stuff that actually makes you realize that you're doing something right. So I'll find my stuff. Hold on a second. If you're watching us on LinkedIn right now, let us know. So this is something that Debbie with a Y shared on LinkedIn yesterday. And she took a screenshot and said, today was my first time participating on LinkedIn Live. I had no idea this was a new feature of this platform. I had so much fun listening to The Naked Truth by Fat Coin, and we also heard from you, Paul.
Oh, I'm an also. How nice for me.
Yeah, which is really funny because when I was talking to
there's the
Brian
bald
Miller,
guy.
I was talking to Brian Miller and he goes like, "Oh, you want me to be on Paul's show?" And I'm like, "It's not his show. It's like what?" So I think it's really interesting where they're seeing the show and they're associating that with the other person.
That's funny.
So just
That's
so you
funny.
know, it's our show.
Our show.
Our
All right.
show.
Hey, go back to that the page again and click on behavior. It's yeah, it's up a little more. Up. Oh, there you go. Yeah, behavior. And then behavior flow. This is fascinating. This is where, again, for a new person like us, this gives you like, what? But this will tell you sort of the flow from like the landing page that people first come to.
So most people come to our homepage, and then from there, they're going to the ask page, which is super cool. And I think they're doing that because the ask page says ask and win. And they're like, what can I win? And so they're probably going there. So they're coming to the homepage and going to the navigation. So that actually will give you a hint on how, what's effective on your site, what people are seeing on your site, right? So you start with the homepage, you go to the ask page, and sometimes past episode, which is great. You guys are watching our replays, which is great. And then some to different pages depending on the show. And then from ask, they go to the funnel. Oh, funnel planning with Guru. Interesting. That's cool. Right? And then sometimes these ones are the ones where you're getting direct links, I believe, from social. So when we're sharing this on social, you're probably going directly to one of these, and that's why we're seeing them.
But so here's the cool thing, the idea that, you know, it would be easy for me in particular to assume that if people are going to come to our site, they're just going to go to bethenakedtruth.com and start there consistently. But this analytics page shows no, there's several different, what they're calling when I hear the term landing page, I
Yeah.
usually think of like lead magnet pages,
Right.
but that's not what the landing page here is. Just where does the person land? Where do they start their site experience? And so you start seeing the diversity of the places that people are starting their website experience with you, and then to go 3 interactions deep from
Yeah,
there.
that's true.
It's pretty
So
cool.
yeah, and so what's nice that I just discovered, thanks Paul, is there's a drop down menu right here. And you can find specifically, like you can drill down by like the source where people came from, right? So free stuff, free club. Is that a site that sends traffic to us? Get boat traffic for free, that club,
That's weird.
right? Most of the people are coming from here and we don't know what it is. So thanks so much for sending us traffic. And we have direct, we have Facebook, we have a little bit of Google
Yep.
coming in. That's the source. I don't think we have any campaigns or any mediums. No, we don't.
What happens if you just click on the overview in the left nav above the behavior flow that we're in? What's the overview show? Oh, traditional. Okay.
Yeah, look, we're actually improving with the bounce rate and the page views. That mean that, and that's like um, the 3 level dip that we were looking at,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
And we're getting more page views viewed this week, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Kind of shows you where it is. Oh, that's the homepage. So this is cool. This kind of breaks it down by pages. So our Monday musing
Right.
got a lot, and changes and stuff. So that's nice. So that's good on egg. So actually looking at the behaviors, looking at the acquisition, right, which kind of shows you where all the traffic is coming from, sources and mediums.
Yep.
Yeah, I wonder what this is. This is a referral. Does it put? Let's see.
And this is a terrifying moment, ladies and
I know,
gentlemen,
right?
where we.
Someone is sending us traffic.
But why? Why would
I don't know,
someone?
but super cool. Thanks so much. No idea what it is, but it's really cool. Um, Stuart is saying put the logging just below the topic and above the start symbol of the show. Give them an opportunity to join the conversation before the video link. So Stuart is suggesting that we move this one from here to here. Is that right, Stuart?
Oh, so that visually their eye hits it sooner.
Maybe above the fold, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe we should try. So, but guys, come on here and actually click this and join the conversation and let us know if this is the right, if this is what you want.
Now, there's
So
one more thing I really wanted us to cover, and then from there we can kind of free flow it. Is site speed,
yeah, that's an interesting one.
right?
Yeah.
So
Oops. Where will that be? Behavior?
let's see.
Yep. Site speed.
You got it? Yeah, you got it. Now, I don't think this should be an issue with our site. Like our site's super snappy. Why is it?
I have no idea what this means.
Oh, it's got nothing. It's got like no data for some reason.
Yeah, I don't know what that means at all. But if you do want to test site speed, you can Google it, right? And I think Google does the same thing. Google site speed.
Yeah, there's different
Yeah,
services
so
that'll do
Google
that.
does their own thing. Let's grab that one. Look how quickly it analyzes it. You know, some sites it's like 50 years later you come back with like stuff. So Paul, what is the what is the average site speed that we need to look at?
Well, I guess it's not so much. This is where this stuff always gets tricky, right? Is some people are like, some of the stuff I read said, don't worry too much about site speed. And I'm like, but why wouldn't it matter? Because we're so short in our attention span, right? That if you click on a page and it doesn't come up quick enough, there are people who literally will just move on. They'll be like, ah, whatever, and they'll move on. That's a real problem that I'm having with my online community site right now. I've got all these plugins that I'm using to enrich the user experience,
Uh-huh.
but I have so many that they're slowing down the page loads. And I've
Right.
like tweaked and tried to do all this, and I keep getting people who are like, dude, it's just too slow.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and this again, I'm like, it takes sometimes like 3 seconds for the page to load, right? You're like, dude, it's 1001, 1002, 1003, like in the scheme of your life. But that's what we've all like. People are like, no, that's too slow. I don't have time for that. I'm like,
Yeah.
you what? Like, you
You
don't have
don't have
time
three
for like,
seconds?
but that's where we are at, right? We're so used to like when you're at Facebook and you click on something, it just goes thousand what and it's done. Like
Right.
it's in less than a second, that page is loaded. And so that's people are
Well,
consuming that
sometimes it depends on how you use it, but yeah. Yeah,
right,
yeah,
right.
yeah,
But most of the time,
yeah,
And
yeah.
so but then you get into the one thing I was reading was saying like with analytics, you can even look at and again for you, I'm not as this is again not my language, but they said you can even look at like how long does it take this page to load if you're in Connecticut?
Oh, I
Because
didn't know that.
people's access is
Yeah.
different,
Right. Yeah.
And so like if you're targeting a certain population or area, that might matter. And so when you get into that point, again, if someone told me that, if they're like, Paul, your site loads particularly poorly for people in St. Louis, and I would be like, what am I supposed to do about that?
Right. Right.
Like,
Yeah, I don't know. So this is it. Maybe it's like page timing. That's what you're talking about.
yeah,
And I wish like it's all zero. So is that, I
yeah, I
think
don't
it's a
know
good
why
thing.
that's doing that.
Maybe that's a good thing. This one says 18% green. I don't know. So if you guys know this, oh, there you go, user timing. If you guys watching us right now and you know what this means and how to find it, that'll be nice. The Google desktop page speed says it's 78. But this is interesting, right? Because it goes like the total time 110 milliseconds. The first content print shows up in
0.8
point
seconds.
eight
Yeah,
seconds,
so
so less
eight
than a
tenths of a
second.
second.
So that's good. Um, time to interactive. I don't know what that is. But there's always, and this is something that I've been always been struggling with, like how do you remove the JavaScript and how do you efficiently encode the images and how do you serve images? And there's so many ways of doing that, and it doesn't always work, and it takes a lot of like, behind the scene programming and stuff like that. That I don't know if it's always, worth the effort. I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't
I
know.
think the biggest thing I wish I could find out is what I wish I could get really good at analyzing what time of day people are using like my various sites so that I knew how to prompt and play to that more. To be like release new content right when they're more likely to be using the site and then when they're getting rewarded and they want to keep, like there's like 168 hours in a week and how do you,
Right.
how do
Right,
you
but I think
know?
you can do that with the real time, let's see, content. Uh,
Oh, there's go to the home, just go home and then over on the right side scroll down there, see it, when do your users visit,
oh yeah.
second row far right,
Hmm.
and it plots out a density. The blue gets darker the
Right.
more that people are there at that time,
So
so that gives you a
Monday,
little bit of a sense.
so Monday should you, so around, what do you say? 1 p.m. is when we go live. Uh, so people come in before and after kind of thing, right? Or
Yeah.
after our shows on Monday. I don't know. That's the last 30 days. Let's say the last 7 days.
Oh, there you go,
Yeah.
that cleans it up and makes it a little
Yeah. Um, oh, and I know why the Thursday, because that was on that gig. Um,
right,
and,
right.
and then you can do custom. I guess you can. I was thinking that you can actually open it up, but yeah. So maybe that one, if you really, really wanted to. So analytics can be like really time consuming, and there are people that that's all they do. They just spend time on analytics and figuring all that stuff. I think the important stuff is like the tracking. So if you're actually in analytics and you want to track conversion, setting up goals is really, really good. And we haven't done any of that stuff, but we should. So for example, we could set a goal to see how many people are coming to the live page, for example, I believe. So we can do have a custom goal, and the goal would be coming to the live page, and that'll be a destination. We'll continue, and that'll be equal to live. And save. And then you can verify the goal. Oop, did we? Make sure I verify it. Yep. Okay. So that works. So then we can, so if you have a thank you page, for example, you can do a goal, see how many people are opting in and making it to the thank you page, because you can only get to the thank you page through a form usually. So that can be, that can be a way for you to actually know how the site is working. So we can do that, and we can do like another one, custom, and we can do replays. That'll be a destination as well. And then in a month, we can know how many people, if this is actually working, right? Like how many people are coming to our live page, how many people are coming to the replays, and we can kind of see what we need to modify and change and work with. What do you think, Mr. Ramsey?
So the key to that would be, if you're going to set that, you would then need to have a consciously constructed, concerted effort to drive
Right.
traffic to that place, so that you could go, okay, what we're doing is actually working, because now we can track it and see it.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Like,
have to start with you have to start with the strategy in mind, right? And then
exactly.
form the
That's my
strategy.
point, right? Is just
Yeah.
making the goal doesn't get you anywhere. It just sort of brings your attention to a little bit, but you got to then do something. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. All right. So for
What's
example,
from what you've seen today, if I like, what's your biggest concern out of what you've seen today? What are you happiest about and least happy about?
from analytics.
Yeah.
So I really like that people are spending time on our site. 2.4 to 47 seconds. Analytic and YouTube don't track time very well for some really weird reason. So I'm glad that people are spending time on our site. I would love for you to comment. I would love for you to let us know, like, instead of balancing, like what's working, what's not working. And I would love to see a little bit more traffic coming in there, like more people to the live. So we will see now the live how that works. What about you? What'd you like?
Oh, I tend, I'm trying to think carefully about how to, I've already said, I don't know hardly anything about analytics. So part of me is like, when I try to think about all the things I have to do for my business, while I like to check it once in a while, to really appreciate what it tells me, it's almost like you have to learn to speak the language. And so if I can't really speak the language, like, what do I care? Like,
Right.
I tend to be more like you and I talk about how we care about relationships, right? And how we care
Yeah.
about engagement. So even if I saw something like if there was a big spike in user numbers or something like that on analytics, what I still day to day would do is I would evaluate it based on things like yesterday. We had high engagement yesterday. We had fun conversation. We had a new person drop in live that had never dropped in live before.
Right.
To me, those are signs of growth that I
Which you
really
cannot
value.
see
Like,
in analytics, right? So that's the
right,
thing. Like,
right.
and yeah, yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
you asked me about analytics. In analytics, I would like to see that. But aside of that, everything that happened yesterday was fantastic.
So should we just not care about Google Analytics anymore and never talk about it again?
I don't know. Sometimes data is good, right? I don't know.
Here's what I would say. If we can find a true Google Analytics expert, I would be willing to do one more episode where someone who knows what the hell they're talking about comes in and schools us.
Says open on live video. Sure.
Right? Sure, fine, because at least I'd learn something,
Yeah.
right? But if we can't find someone that's going to do that and bring some, then I'm like, why should we spend time? I'd rather spend time doing other things.
Yeah.
And I think, again, like, we're not Macy's, we're not Walmart, we're not some giant brand that is at that level where we've got whole teams of people analyzing every little thing we can do to get
Right.
0.1% of profit more out of the business, right? That's not
Right.
what we're doing. So I'm like, so why gobble up time and energy on this, you know?
Yeah. And with that, why gobble energy? Let's tell you about tomorrow. Tomorrow we're having a really, really, really cool guest. Two-time Emmy winner, Broadway producer Ken Davenport is going to come here and show you how you can beat the big man. So if you're feeling like you're the underdog and if only enough people knew about your amazing service, then you will help more people. Tomorrow is the show for you because come on in, pick his brain in real time. He's going to show you how to get tons of media coverage for free, so you don't have to compete monetarily with the big guys. So tomorrow, 11-2. And
All
with
right,
that,
it's going to be fun. See you
and with
tomorrow,
that,
folks.
See you tomorrow.
Hey, if you enjoyed today's episode, come back and spend more time with us. You could be on the broadcast sharing your thoughts. We hang out live Monday through Friday at 2 p.m. Eastern at www.bethenakedtruth.com/live.